The day was Sunday, November 27, 1966. The place was D.C. Stadium. The event was a certified slaughter. Sonny Jurgensen led the Washington Redskins against the hapless New York Giants.
It was not one of the most pleasant days of our football days.
The Giants' only victory of the season came against these Redskins 6 weeks earlier, 13-10. In this rematch, New York scored 41 points, but it wasn't nearly enough.
That was just one of those games, and they just don't happen very much, you know. We got on a roll at a time that the Giants were in a lax situation. They were in transition at the time in terms of football players. They didn't have the team they'd had before.
I looked at the Giant defense. It absolutely was the worst defense that I have ever seen in the NFL.
This Giants defense hardly resembled the one that Huff had played on. New York surrendered an NFL record 72 points as they struggled to keep their focus.
There's a point in a game that's reached when one team gets that 10 or 14 points ahead, especially later in the game, to where now the team that's behind compounds their errors and makes more or loses their urgency upstairs.
The Giants committed 6 turnovers in the game, and Washington head coach Otto Graham made sure his team capitalized on each of them.
Otto kept throwing the ball or calling for passes, and hey, in a game like that, the receivers and the passer, it's fun and games.
It wasn't fun and games for Sam Huff, who had a deep-rooted hatred for Allie Sherman and the Giants. 2 years earlier, the Giants had traded Huff to Washington after 8 memorable seasons in New York.
I loved everything about the Giants. I never wanted to be traded. My 8 years with the New York Giants, I never missed a game. I played all the preseason games. I played on all the special teams. I got knocked out. I played hurt. I did everything. Allie Sherman, I guess, for whatever reason, decides to trade the defense. Traded Roosevelt Greer the year before, Dick Modzelewski, me, Erich Barnes, all the defense.
Calling timeout with 7 seconds left to allow Charlie Gogolak to attempt a 29-yard field goal was a breach of football etiquette. A bloodthirsty act even for such age-old rivals. And despite the criticism that Graham received, sending Gogolak in wasn't even his idea.
I don't think I had attempted a field goal the whole game because we were scoring all the time. To this day, I hear from somebody that you ran the score up on the Giants.
I was the one that called timeout. Sonny came to the sideline. He said, "Who called timeout? What's going on?" I said, "I think Charlie Gogolak needs to practice."
In the highest scoring game in NFL history, it's not any individual touchdown that stands out as much as one player's vendetta against his former team.
I took an oath that I would get even. I took an oath that I would get even, and I did. Allie Sherman saw offense like he never saw in his life, and he was standing on the sideline over there. He was in shock when I looked over and I said, "God is great. Justice is done." And it was done, 72-41.